did like a U-turn.
Complete. Imagine, fuck, it was... I made a terrible decision. I don't know what I was thinking. Now that I think about it, I said, what the fuck was I thinking? But peer pressure, I was turning 30 and, you know, people are like, fuck, in India, if you turn 30...
I just turned 30, yeah.
In India, it's so much peer pressure. They're like, my mom was like, you're turning 30, you're turning 30. I'm like, oh, fuck, am I turning 30? I'm turning old. She like... And somewhere in that peer pressure, of course, it's my fault also at some level that I gave into it, you know. I shouldn't have. I made the decision. I never felt it. And people say that you will feel it, but I never felt it, not for a second. Even the day when I'm going to say yes, I never felt it for a second.
Wait, the day that you were going to say yes, you proposed.
The day you decided. You know what happens in India? Basically, the families get together, and that's the day when there's an official yes. And that day, my mom clearly knows when both of us were walking to the place where we would meet and say yes. And I told her, Mom, I don't feel it. And she said, she looked at me and she's like,
fuck your feelings, man. Yeah.
Like, maybe you might just feel it in a while. Maybe you're just feeling the pressure, you know, maybe because you're nervous or something. Maybe.
Which is a valid thing as well. Like, that's a valid
thing. Yeah. But then after a few months, I was scared to break it off when she told me and my dad told me, if you don't break it off, if you don't have the balls to do it, we will do it.
Right.
So coming from Asian parents saying that was...
Yeah. Can I ask you, based on that, like, how did she feel about it?
The girl?
Yeah.
She was obviously not so happy about
it.
She was... But the thing is...
about it. I'm not so happy, like, when I wake up sore the next day, I feel like...
No, but the thing... it was... in my case, I would say it was painless. Because what I did is, it was just one call. I made one call to her father before her, saying I'm calling this off. One call. That's it. And then the next call went to her. I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. We are not on the same page. We're having too many differences. This is not working out. I'm sorry. I'm breaking this off. This is the last you will hear of me. And I promise you, after that, I deleted her of every possible thing. And I never got in touch with her till date. Ever again. Ever.
I respect that though, man. Like the fact that you didn't get back to her ever again. You know, I do. Like I'm sure you cared about her still at that point and all this stuff, right? And like,
but I knew I had to stay strong. I knew if I go back,
that's what I respect. Yeah.
So I said, no, fuck, I'm not looking back. Once I've made this decision, I will go through with it and fuck this. And I never looked back. And come on, you're in Shanghai. I knew it. Fuck, I'm in Shanghai. I knew
Shanghai's
it.
Great.
The minute I step out, anyways.
Cheers.
I never doubted.
Yeah, of course not. Dude, you're a great looking guy in Shanghai. You know, you were young, you were free, you know, personally, right? Not like from her or anything, like from yourself.
I knew it. I'm like, fuck it. And I really, those 2 years when I met Kush after I broke off, I had a ball of a time. Like
for sure.
Because in my head, it was like, fuck, I get additional 2 years. Because at some level, I was prepared to give up everything and get married. And then when I got that freedom again, because you value it. It's like when you lose it and then when you get it back, you value it so much more.
That's for everything.
You cherish it. So I mean, for everything. And that's when you
go
realize,
without water for 2 days. Like you cherish water like crazy.
And then when I got it, I'm like, God, this is, you value it so much. And then I was happy to meet the perfect partner.
And now you're obviously also very happy. And
that's true. She's very God's happy. Grace. I don't know about her. Happy. I assume she's happy.
I think she's very happy. Yeah.
I think she is.
So you know, when I first met the two of you, what I really liked about you guys was it was a modern Indian couple in my mind. I hope that doesn't sound incredibly racist. Look, at this podcast, I just basically say what's on my head and do it, right? But, you know, I don't think... I grew up with a lot of Indian people in Vancouver, but none who I was very close with, and obviously none recently, because I've been here so long. And when I saw you and Kush together, I was like, wow, this is like... you know, what I envision India hopefully maybe turning into. I don't know. Right?
Not yet.
No?
I mean, India, not yet. Of course, there are couples who are changing in India as well. Now there is a prolific change in India as well. People are changing. But you know, the problem in India is people live with their families. People have joint families. So there is a lot of pressure coming from the parents. So you're staying with your parents. I mean, even when I go back to India, I go to my dad's house.
Uh-huh.
Not that I change as a person, but then you have some kind of, there is kind of, how do I put it? There is slight tension, because I mean, the girl is expected to wake up in the morning. Obviously, Kush is not going to wake up at fucking 11 in the morning and walk out and be like, oh. I mean, if she does it, not that my parents will say something, but it's in our head. It's how we've grown up, that, right, we need to wake up.
But that's why I was really so excited to, like, when I met you guys and when we had that really nice dinner with Min V, because I was like, wow, this is like a really cool couple, modern Indian couple, like not what you see in like the tabloids or whatever, or Bollywood or in the news, like just and then like last week or two, I don't even know when it was, like your birthday, like seeing 30 Indian, like young Indian professionals, like some of them were from like Bangkok, Hong Kong, etc. I told some of my friends, I was like, well, this is a really cool experience, because I feel like I kind of grew up in that circle as an Asian person in Germany and then Vancouver. Like what you guys experience in Shanghai is like, I can almost kind of, I can at least kind of see the bond you guys have, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I feel like I hope this is a side of India that more people see, is what I meant.
I think it's far from what India is and what India will become, because had I stayed in India, I think I wouldn't be the same also. It's also a lot of exposure which you get once you travel, once you move out of India, because you see new things, you meet new people. For example, I met you, I learned something from you. I meet different people, you learn something. When I was in India, it was like this. You're like a frog in a well, because you meet only these kind of people, you only mingle with these kind of people. So your circle is very limited. I still feel now, of course, once you travel, once you meet new people, you stay abroad, you see new things, your circle opens up.
Right.
Just today, I was having this discussion with Kushbu that now our circle is this much. You need to expand again. You need to meet more people, discuss more. Go meet different people. So your circle increases more. Your mind opens up to different things. I was just thinking, just today I was having this conversation with her that I've reached a point where this is who I know, this is who I am, this is what I can learn from them, or this is what I can think. And the conversation started from, because yesterday when we were playing
board games,
there were so many things which are so culture related, traditional related, and which probably you don't know, and which you will only pick up when you meet people, when you go eat different meals, you go out, you meet different people. And I was just telling her there's so much to learn in the world, like it's unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable, like how much there is to learn in the world. For me, traveling is probably one of the industries where if I wasn't doing this, that I would really want to make a dent in, because I believe traveling is like the purest form of education.
Yeah.
What, you're shaking your head? You're like, no, you don't want to.
No, because I'll tell you, I read something very beautiful a few days back, which said that some of the best experiences are in the pages of a passport.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I thought was a brilliant thought. I mean, it's a super thought if you think about it. Sure. Yeah. I mean, money can be earned, everything can be earned, but the experience which you get while you travel, the things you learn.
Yeah.
So my father, for example, or my family, no one is educated. Whatever they are today or whatever they became in life was only because they traveled. They moved out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. It's very similar to my background.
Exactly. They moved out of their comfort zone. They traveled. They met people. So my father, for example, didn't know how to speak English. Can you believe it? Of course, they went to school.
Yeah.
He went to school, but he didn't know. And you know how he picked up English? He was in Dubai. He joined a bank. He went to a bank. The first day, he just joined so he was supposed to wear a tie. He didn't know how to wear a tie. So he went to his friend. His friend taught him how to wear a tie.
Yeah. He
started working at the bank. You keep talking to people, he picked up English.
Right.
He learned English.
Through hearing them.
Like he was always a very smart guy.
Of course.
Super smart, my dad. I must tell you this. He picked up English. He was super at maths. He learned the trades. He was very fast. So he learned how the business works. He was faster than what they could calculate.
Right.
So he went up the ranks very fast. Even today, if I have some banking issue, my dad calls me like, this is wrong. This is how you work.
Wow. Which was just like a lot of fun for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So he went up the ranks very fast. And even today he tells me, of course he went out of the banking sector and then he started his own business and he went into that field.
Also very successful.
I mean, he was okay. If he was so successful, I wouldn't be here. I would be
on this podcast. Yeah, you have your own podcast if he was that successful.
I would be somewhere on an island chilling with my own villa, having my own life. But no complaints.
Getting there, yeah.
No complaints
Oh,
at all.
no.
No complaints. Sure. He did. I mean, he had a good life. He enjoyed. Has a good life. So, yeah, So the point is basically that's how India is, and that's how, of course, it's not the same anymore.
Right.
But still, there are a lot of cultural things holding people back.
Of course.
But
like honestly, that is everywhere, China included. Right, a lot of Southeast Asia included. Yeah, it's pretty heavy here, man. Like honestly, even for somebody like me who has been gone for so long, and I don't identify much as Chinese, but like my grandma's the same. You just turned 30. Where is she? Like it doesn't bother me that much. I think I've been very fortunate because my close guy friends are
all single.
It's changing now, I would say, but it's mostly changed recently. So like I would say up until I was like 28, 29, everyone was roughly the same. But now some of them a little bit more. And I'm very happy for them.
But does a lot of setup in China involve like the arranged setup as well? Like people set up as well?
I think so. Like my cousins, so I'm from like Henan.
Okay.
Like Zhengzhou, Zhengzhou.
I know.
Yeah, it's a shithole.
I didn't know that.
It's a shithole. But it's a lot of people, and people are very nice, especially to me. But like we're from like Nongcun. Like my uncles are like literally live in the villages. And one of my cousins just got married, and it was like semi-arranged. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you say semi-arranged, someone introduced and they just like.
No, I think it was just like soft arrangement. It wasn't like you should marry them, but like the parents set it up.
Yeah. Basically, that you meet this person, see how you feel about it.
Yeah. I think I like that, and it worked out. And they just got married, and I actually think they seem fairly happy, which is really cool to see.
That's exactly how India works. So basically, there are these matrimonial sites where you go look up, where you sign up, and then people. So a lot of my friends, as you said, before I got married, they are still unmarried, and they were also on the same page looking for someone. At some point, got fed up of looking, and then signed up for these matrimonial sites, and you have a lot of people suggesting, meet so and so, meet so and so, meet so and so. And it's very interesting how you meet these people who are suggested by someone or through these matrimonial sites, and you go and meet them. It's a very interesting experience.
I'm sure. I would love to do that, just to be honest with you. I don't think it'll ever happen for me, but
it's damn funny. So my friends, as you said, they also went for these matrimonial setups, and it was very funny when they would come back and tell me the whole experience, how the whole thing. I didn't meet anyone through the setup. I mean, I must have chatted with a few. That's about it. And the thing is, I'm not so good when texting. I'm very to the point. So I think I give a very cold feeling to the girls. So they would eventually just
like fuck this guy.
I wouldn't reply. I would be very slow and very to the point. Okay. Guess one word answer, and then finally they would get fed up and like, okay, I guess you're not interested.
That's their loss, Pavan. That's their loss.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Cheers to that.
Would you? I mean, you and Kush want to have kids maybe one day, right? Like, how do you feel about them in arranged marriages?
I don't think the concept of marriage would exist.
But by the time your kids hit our age,
I think so.
I don't think it's gonna be that fast.
I think so. I mean, I was having a discussion.
Maybe in like Portland.
I was having a discussion with my cousin recently, and his children are 10 now, and he feels by the time they are ready to get married, which is like 15 years from now, probably the concept of marriage wouldn't exist.
No, it's not gonna be that fast.
You don't think so? No.
I agree with the concept, but it's not gonna be that fast. I don't think it's gonna be in our lifetime.
So maybe people wouldn't want to get married. Maybe people just want to come together and maybe have a life together, or maybe the concept of just to live in. There'd be nothing like a. You don't have to put a stamp and be like, oh, we're married. You live together. As long as you all are happy, you stay together under one roof.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong, it's easier, right? Because legally,
it is easier. Yes. Legally, especially.
Legally, especially because it's the kind of money people pay also.
Right.
That's also a big thing if you think about it. Of course, not in Indian culture, but then there is, for example, where I sell, which is Brazil. if you break up, the kind of money which you pay to your wife is insane.
Okay.
It's a lot of money which you end up paying. For example, people sometimes pay half of their fortune. So imagine you're already half down. Yeah. Why would you want to get married again? Imagine you get 3 wrong women and you
depends on the woman, I guess.
Imagine you get 3 wrong women and you're straight.
Yeah. Expensive.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I feel. What do you feel?
In terms of what? How long it's gonna be?
Yeah.
So I agree with the notion. But for me, I think marriage serves a very strong purpose in our society. Like it gives people comfort, and I think at the core aspect of that. You keep making these facial expressions. At the core aspect of that, I think is like a need for a connection and security. So like, I don't think that's changed anytime soon. I think if anything, that's getting worse because of the internet, texting, all that stuff, right? Yeah. But I don't think marriage is gonna go away. I think more and more people will start going to smaller cities. I think that's how it'll start. So I actually think maybe we'll go back to more of a form of tribalism, where it's like towns, instead of like these mega cities. And I think the way we live and travel will be much more like hunter and gatherer. And I think at that point, marriage might go out the window. But I think it's going to take a while.
Do you really think people are going to move to smaller cities and
100%.
And urbanization is going to come down?
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I don't think urbanization
is we're going to have this podcast again in like 20 years and see.
Oh my God.
I think you're thinking about from like, maybe I'm wrong, from a self-improvement standpoint or maybe like an economical standpoint. I'm thinking of from like an ecological and behavioral standpoint.
But that's only people like you. That's only this percentage of the people who think like that. I think everybody else wants to move to bigger cities, wants a better living, wants a beautiful city, wants infrastructure, wants...
I absolutely agree, and I think that's the second part for me. Was just like I just don't think that's sustainable. Like I just don't think they're gonna have that choice.
It's so difficult. I don't think anyone cares about that anymore.
But a combination of global warming, a combination of these like pandemics, whatever it is, people are just like it's already happening in like LA and New York. People who can't afford it. You're absolutely right. Like for a select few who can afford moving from LA to Denver or wherever and have a great lifestyle. Very few, yes, but it's happening.
But the beauty and the attraction of moving to a big city and a city with great infrastructure will always lure people to come to big cities than move to smaller cities. That's what I
don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And the dream of making more money is always there in the bigger cities. So I think urbanization is not going anywhere. And people know this from a long time that that this has been happening, epidemics.
But don't you think there's like a limit? Like, don't you think we're like 30 million, 40 million now? Like, that's a lot of fucking people. You know what I mean? Like, don't you think that there's we're just gonna grow like 200 million cities? Like, one day in the future, Suzhou, Shanghai, Hangzhou will always be one city?
I think it's only money. From what I understand, it's people have become so blinded now these days. Okay. It's only about money. I tell you,
I agree.
It's so much about money that today people don't care about what they are contributing towards the environment. People don't care. Nothing.
I think that's changing. You don't think that's changing?
Not at all.
So you think by the time your kids will be our age, it'll be worse?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be terrible.
The Earth isn't going to be able to sustain that. Like, you understand that not scientifically speaking, there's a limit. We might not hit it yet. It might be 300 years, might be 30 years. I don't know, right? Could be tomorrow for all we know. But at this pace, it's gonna happen. I think that's inarguable, right? At the worst case, we have an ice age.
So the thing is, basically, it will deteriorate.
Yes.
Till a certain point.
Right. This is what I'm asking.
So what I'm saying is, it will keep deteriorating till mankind realizes that it's at the last stage, and then they're going to run helter-skelter to do something about it. But I think by then it'll be too late.
Okay, so we agree on the concept. We just disagree on the timeline.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Because I think we're going to do nothing about it.
I think that's now.
No.
No?
Nothing. They're going to do nothing. They're going to just go on with their life as it is. They will just talk people. Because everyone, you see the big politicians who are supposed to do something about it, don't care a shit about it. Because all they care about is making money and I think it's only a very small sector of the society which actually cares about it. and the rest of the people don't care about it.
And I think even a smaller society, a smaller part from the people who care about it are the people who actually do something about it, right? Like that percentage is even smaller from there.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a smaller percentage who wants to do something about it also. For example, you and me probably would care about it, but I wouldn't bother to do something about it, right? Because you are so engrossed in your own life. You're like, oh, what can I do? I'm just one person, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this is contributing towards...
I hope you're right. I really do. Because that means that I don't have to deal with it in my life, right? Selfishly. You know, like, yeah, it's going to happen. We don't got to deal with it.
I think it's gonna happen. I just feel it might not happen while I am alive.
So we still get to enjoy our private islands and Maldives and all
this stuff. We still get to enjoy everything.
Right, we still get to see polar bears.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen while my children are there. Good luck to them. That's their life.
I hope your version happens. That sounds much better.
So it's good luck to them.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about having kids?
Have I ever thought about having kids?
Yeah.
No.
So you're still at the...
I think this is a big part of it. I don't really know whether I want to bring up a child in this world currently.
No, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
But like with a lot of things. Like I had Hardeep on. Right? Hardeep was on this podcast and we talked about his son, who I think, I forgot how old he was, but he's fairly young. And I told him that, like, I've read studies now where in the US at least, or maybe in the UK as well, kids get phones as early as like 7 or 8.
I think not only in the US now, any part of the world, I think kids do get phones at that age.
That is insane. Like the justification is they are now in school, and not only can I reach them, but also if they don't have one, all their other kids will have one, and they will feel left out.
Correct. So peer pressure.
That's fucked up. 7 and 8, right? So it's like it's not so much the global warming shit and Earth is gonna end. It's more like shit like that. You know.
So just today we were again having this conversation that technology has so much to play in your life, and you have to learn how to give your kid that it's not technology, it's about the actual reading. And when you read, there is so much which you can grow in life. That the books, I mean, you can probably, sitting in China, you can travel the world just by reading a book.
Yeah,
and you can learn so much more.
Of course, yeah.
And by going out, playing, and you know, just but technology is bringing down the kids and the societies. Of course, it has its advantages as well, but it's bringing down people so much, and the kids especially. So today we were having this conversation because Khushbu was telling me that, when she grew up, her mom was making her read books, you know, mythological books and different kinds of books, everything, you know, she was reading about history. We were discussing about history, and she was like, they never learned about Hong Kong history, and they were learning about world history and all that. And so I was like, I mean, world history, I mean, you're lucky, because we being in India, we were taught only Indian history. I said, but you were taught world history, and you know. So I was just having a normal discussion with her, and I was like, we have kids, who's going to teach them? Because I don't think I can. And she's like,
Google.
You grow with your kids as well, because you learn so much with your kids as well, because that's where the discussion of learning and growing up in life came about, you know, that there's so much to learn, that you can sit with your kid and you can learn about something which probably you didn't know about it, right?
Yeah, of course not. And the internet is great for that, right? It's absolutely great for that, but it is like, I don't want to fucking deal with it, man. Like, I know that sounds really selfish, but I don't want to have conversations with other parents about, did Bobby get an iPad? How big was Bobby's iPad? Did we get the wrong size for his iPad? Like, I don't, you know, I feel like there's other things to do with my time, and there are so many kids in this world already. I'd be open to like adopting, you know, especially someone who's like maybe a little older. Right? I don't want to deal with the sleepless nights and the diapers.
I can imagine. Not yet, I think so. Maybe there'll be a point when you would be okay with that, but maybe, I guess not yet. Not yet, I guess. I see Hardeep is very close to his family, right? I keep seeing him post pictures of his family.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Excuse me. Like, for me, doing this podcast, one of the biggest personal reasons for doing this, like, there's personal reasons and then there's like other reasons, like work reasons, I guess, right? But one of the biggest personal reasons was because I'm hitting up age and a point in my life now where I don't actually know what being a man means. Like a modern Asian man. No clue. You know, I didn't really have a father or male models in my life, and I look around and I don't really see any either, right? We don't see any movies and books or whatever. So I think for me personally, this is that journey. and having somebody like Hardeep on, and also you to an extent, not the father part, but for me, that's the cool part about doing this, right? Is to have a diverse set of people on, including him. Dude, Hardeep was on here for 2 hours. We didn't talk about cooking at all.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Insane,
right?
Excellent.
I mean, maybe we did like 10 minutes about why he did it. Like he worked at his uncle's restaurant and when he started, but I never asked him about cooking here, what his favorite dish is, where he wants it to go, what he thinks of the industry. All things I wanted to.
Nothing.
So
what we all just went, what we all discussing?
Yeah, like what you and I are doing now. We did not prep for this, and you're probably like 6, 7 or somewhere around there, and I'm trying to learn how to do this as well and get better. But when I have people like you on, for me, it's very easy, to be honest with you. So I really appreciate you coming on. Really
pleasure. Cheers to that.
Do you want a refill or do you want to
go easy?
Yeah, we talk a lot about religion. We talk a lot about his, I think, Punjabi background in the UK, and it was, for me personally, really important to have Indian people on, as well as just all types of Asian people. Like the podcast is called Shades of Yellow.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah, and like I think for me, I believe that. I don't know. Do you consider yourself Asian? Like, do you get annoyed when people call Indians Asian? Or
no, I don't get. Yeah. I accept it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
but is that how it should be? I feel like there should be like a line there somewhere else. Like we could redraw things because Asia is so large. I'm not saying between like China and India or anything, right? Just I think Asia should be a little redrawn, maybe. Or
when you say that, what do you mean? What do you expect? How do you expect people to address you? If you're from Asia, then
I don't know. We can make another word for it, I guess, but.
It doesn't bother me, honestly.
Okay.
It never bothers me.
Good.
I mean, I accept it.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, fine. I'm from Asia. It doesn't bother me so much. What bothers me is if you're looked down upon being an Asian. Being called an Asian is fine by me. But when you're looked down being an Asian, that's what bothers me, because that's not correct.
Sure. Yeah.
But being called an Asian is fine by me.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that. So that's fine. In fact, this time when I was in the US, I was pleasantly surprised because actually they look up on the Asians because they are the big spenders over there. Especially you see all the Chinese.
These days.
You see all the Chinese. I went to these fancy places and all the Chinese were the big spenders, and all the high rises, the top floors, everything. It's owned by a Chinese. It's owned by a Chinese. So at some level, I felt proud about it. Because of course I come from China also. I'm not a Chinese, but then I come from China, so I was happy about it.
Right.
And I was happy that the trend is changing, because earlier it used to be just them dominating the world at some point, and them, you always hear about them, and now you see the trend slightly changing towards the Asians. It's the Chinese, the Indians.
Yeah, pros and cons with that,
They're catching up. I mean, of course, there's still enough. I mean, difference between us and them. There's a lot we can do. But then at least we're there. Now we're getting there. At least I saw the respect in their eyes when you say it.
Well, yeah, no, money goes a long way, definitely. It was, especially these days, I guess, it's really interesting watching like the Western and Asian relationships, whether that's US, China, US, India, or whatever, and just seeing that what is real life, like you said, like when you go and you actually see it, they're not